Is ILP really a scam or not?
ILP is definitely not a scam because if it's a scam, you can call the police and the police can investigate.
Hi everyone, welcome to our video series 10 must-know insurance tips agent may not tell you, where we break down the complexity of insurance into simple, easy to understand terms. I'm Jayla, experience specialist, and this is Eddy, Haven CEO, and our favorite insurance expert. At Haven, we believe insurance advice should be a better experience where there is clarity and no confusion, as well as ensuring that your protection is always aligned with your needs. We hope this video series will bring more clarity to you. In each episode, I'll ask the tough questions that you've always wanted to ask but didn't know how, and Eddy will guide us through every topic until I fully understand, with no jargon and no fluff. As a layman myself, I promise to keep asking Eddy until you and I fully understand every bit of it. From debunking common myths to uncovering truth your agents may not always share. This is a series to empower you to make informed decisions about your insurance without paying unnecessarily for excess coverage. So without further ado, let's dive into today's topic. So for today, we'll be talking about investment-linked policy. Is it worth it or just a scam? So Eddy, what exactly is the investment policy and how does it actually work?
All right, that's a very good question. Investment-linked policy is actually an insurance product that has investment element. Okay, so it's similar to a whole life plan whereby there is protection as well as cash value, but there's a big key difference. For whole life plan, the cash value has partial guarantee. So when you look at the policies for whole life plan, there is a guaranteed cash value and non-guaranteed cash value depending on the performance of the life funds.
Okay,
but for ILP, the cash value has no guarantee. So what it means is that potentially the investments may do very well or it may dwindle if the performance is not good. So for ILP, you as a policyholders will have to choose the funds that's offered by insurance company. If you need to have a certain level of investment knowledge to do that, because the risk return depends on you. If you choose the right funds, you get the returns. If not, the returns may be poorer than expected.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier that investment, like whole life plan, you get some bit of guaranteed money back and some is non-guaranteed.
That's right.
So for ILP, you don't get any money back. So let's say if the investment I've invested in this ILP, I lose the money, I get zero or the negative? Because it's investment, right?
Okay. So basically for ILP, the cash value is your investment returns.
Okay.
All right. So if the funds doesn't do well, what it means is that you may suffer a capital loss. All right.
Okay.
In the worst situations whereby the investments drop to zero, for example, let's say the cost of insurance increases over time, it's not enough. The cash value is not enough to absorb this cost.
Okay.
The policies may drop to zero, and when it drops to zero, potentially it means that the ILP may lapse.
Oh, okay. I get it. So you mentioned about all this ILP. What are the different ILPs that we have today?
There are a lot of different kind of ILPs in the market right now. But there are two different categories. One is the protection-based ILP, and one is the investment-focused ILP. For protection-based ILP, basically what it means is that it's similar to the whole life plan. There is substantial coverage like death, critical illness, total permanent disability in that plan. All right. With very little focus on the cash value. Cash value is not so important, all right?
Okay.
But for the investments focused ILP, the protection value is actually very little.
Okay.
Almost close to zero. So in the event of death, for example, the plan may just pay the capital that you put in plus maybe 1 to 5% of your capital, all right? So the main purpose of investment-focused ILP is not for protection. It is more for investments. And as I mentioned just now, investments, the returns for the investment depends on your ability to choose the funds according to your needs, because the risk return depends on policyholders.
Oh, okay. So the two types is, one is more for sum assured The other one is more for pure, more like
More
sided
investments
more
focus,
into
yeah.
okay. So then with that being said, can an investment linked policy provide both good, I would say, insurance coverage and also investment at the same time?
Okay, it's not easy. All right. So basically, ILPs are very flexible insurance policies. It allows you to adjust how much coverage you want and how much investments you desire. All right. If you put too much on protection element, meaning that if you allocate more of your premiums to the protection element, what it means is that you get high cover, but you are compromising on the cash value. The risk of having insufficient cash value in the ILP policies is that there could become a time whereby if the investment doesn't do well, the policy may lapse. Secondly, for investments, returns, it's not so much about how much welcome bonus you get in the ILP. Okay. Ultimately, the important thing for investments is the investment selection. So if the selection wasn't a good one, it doesn't really fit your risk profile, okay, the cash flow may not grow as well. Therefore, it's always better to separate the insurance and investments separately, because by doing that, you can manage them properly and you can get actually better outcome than combining together.
You mentioned welcome bonus. What is welcome bonus?
Okay, some ILP, what they do is that they will give you extra units when you buy into it. All right. So it may seem that you are getting more units. All right. But ultimately, the cash value depends on the performance of the units, not how much units you have. So, for example, if you have a lot of units, but the units are not performing well, the cash value will not grow. Right. If you have very few units, but actually your cash investment do very well, so the cash value will also grow proportionally. So it's not so much how much units you have, but what is the performance of these units.
Investment, right? Okay. So you also mentioned that the cost of the investment linked policy and also what insurance and investment. So is there a difference between like just getting an investment linked policy compared to buying insurance and also investing separately? Okay.
Some people do say that buying ILP is like buying a value meal.
Value meal.
Yeah. So in the value meal you have burgers, you have other things like your fries and drinks. Okay. If you really want protection. Yeah. All right. You can actually go very low cost by getting a term plans. Okay. It will save you a lot of money. Okay. If you want investments, there are actually a lot of investments options out there in the market that has lower cost and gives you a wide range of selections. So having an ILP, in a way, it restricts you because you are restricted by the protection as well as the choice of investments options that you have. Okay. All right. So by splitting them out, separating investment and insurance, usually you can get a better outcome in terms of lower cost and flexibility. Another thing to note about ILP is that there is a lock-in period, okay, whereby if you surrender the ILP early on, you may not get back what you put in.
So lock-in period, what is lock-in period? Is it fixed for all policy?
No, every ILP have their own lock-in period. So lock-in period basically means that during this period of time, if you surrender the ILP, there will be a penalty imposed on surrendering the ILP. So this surrender penalty will affect how much you can take out from the ILP. All right. So a lot of people say that this lock-in period is actually very helpful for you to stay invested. Okay, but the problem is that sometimes there'll be unexpected situations whereby you need to take out your investments, all right? For example, a health crisis, a financial crisis, loss of jobs, you need to take out the investments. But this lock-in period actually prevents you from doing that. So it may not be very helpful from an investment standpoint.
Okay. So this lock-in period, like you say there's a penalty. Usually is the money I have put in, or it will be like additional charges and all this. Then I basically get back nothing, or will I at least get back something that I've put in?
Basically, this lock-in period will result in such that you will not get back, you unlikely to get back what you put in.
Okay.
So there is a discount of what you get out. There's a discount if you get out too early.
Oh, okay. So, are there situations where holding an ILP actually make financial sense, like what you said? Like, because there's a lock-in period, right? Then let's say if my life goals change in 3 years, I want to take out and I have an ILP. Like, is there in any way an ILP makes sense in a financial decision?
Some people say that ILP is good because you can access to branded funds that is not available for retail markets. So, for example, if you are just the normal working folks, you may have access to funds, AI funds, accredited investor funds. Okay, that touted to be better in terms of better than the rest. All right. So some ILP actually bring in these funds into their pantry of funds for you to choose. Okay. But the problem with these funds is that it is never guaranteed. I mean, today it may be inside, it may be taken out. So what happens if, let's say, these funds are not in the panel anymore? You'll be stuck with the ILP. Okay. So to us at Haven, we do not recommend ILP because we think that by separating investments and insurance, you can get better outcomes than combining them together. In fact, there are 4 benefits to consumer by unbundling your insurance and protection. Okay. So firstly, it simplifies your protection needs. If you want this protection, you get a term plan. Okay. Secondly, it lowers your cost because by buying a term plan and going to pure investments, you can actually get overall lower cost than combining them together. Thirdly, by separating in the investments, you can have a wider range of funds available in the market compared to the limited funds within ILP. Okay. And lastly, the thing about ILP is that there's a lock-in period. So there'll be situations whereby you need the money, but the lock-in period actually imposes a restriction, for you to tap onto your investments in times where you most needed it.
Okay. So if I already have an ILP, but I have someone with existing condition, should they still keep their ILP for their coverage needs, or should they terminate? Because you said terminate will maybe have some penalty cost or some cost fees with withdrawing your termination of ILP, right? Would it be a good idea?
Okay, so this one usually you need to talk to a professional to assess the situation. But in general, if let's say you still need a protection element, you should try to get a plan in place first before you consider surrendering.
Okay.
So this will avoid any lapse in terms of protection period. Secondly, if let's say there are some medical conditions that the person have and that prevent him from getting another plan to replace, then it may make sense to keep the ILP for the moment first, and then review it when you don't need the coverage or when you cross that lock-in period.
Okay, understand. So, last question then. Is ILP really a scam or not?
ILP is definitely not a scam because if it's a scam, you can call the police and the police can investigate. But ILP is actually a complicated product. Today, hopefully today I explained that actually it requires some investment knowledge.
Of course.
For you to select the funds and make sure that this fund actually fits a risk profile and that this fund will actually get the returns that you're looking for.
Okay. Thank you very much for helping me understand a little bit more on ILP, even though I still feel like still quite complicated for a layman to maybe understand more on like investment and all this. So I feel that this is something that because it involves of investment, so you need to be actually very savvy with all this before you actually get an ILP plan.
Precisely because ILP plan is not straightforward.
It
requires you to have some investment knowledge to make sure that the investments actually works for you and not against you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Eddy, for sharing with me today. So with that, we have ended today's episode regarding ILP, and we will see you next time. Please like, share, and subscribe.
So when stuck already. So if you having what kind of I can't link it.
No.
Okay, let's try again.
Let's go.
And fourthly, I can't remember the fourth one.